sports fans, welcome back to my channel. Okay, last night the Timberwolves fall to the Lakers in 120-108. And this is what we expected, right? Because Anthony Towns wasn't playing, Rudy Gobert wasn't playing. I don't know why Anthony Towns wasn't playing, but let's talk about Anthony Edwards, okay? But first, let me say, this is why people do not like the NBA, because every time you got a good matchup, there's always, I would say about 70% of the time, a star player is sitting out, right? Why was Anthony Towns sitting out? Okay, I know they're going to make up some excuse, but man, they had two of their best guys sitting out. You knew this was an easy game for the Lakers. LeBron, he could just do layups all game like he does. And, this is what I don't get to. Anthony Edwards, you knew this game was rigged. He gets a technical foul in the first half because he's getting fouled, right? In the first half, he gets a technical foul. LeBron cries the whole game. After every play, he's crying to the ref when he misses, right? Up and down the court, in the ref's face, where's his technical fouls? And this is what I would be doing. If I was the Timberwolves, I'll be going and taking like a compilation to the league office of LeBron crying to the refs every time he doesn't make a basket when he drives. That's what I would be doing. LeBron should have the most technical fouls in the league, right? Second of all, let me say, I'm not trying to be mean, but the people calling these games, I just don't know no more. ESPN has old Hubie Brown. It sounds like this guy is sleeping while he's talking. Blah, 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 blah. Hubie Brown is a legend, right? But why are you hanging on to this guy? This is all cheap labor. That's all it is. ESPN has become about cheap labor. You got women from the WNBA hosting the pregame show, the postgame show. You got announcers from the play-by-play people, women from the WNBA calling NBA games. You got the caller analyst from WNBA calling NBA games. Really? The NBA is horrible. It is horrible, okay? Pretty soon we're going to be, promoting gay pride and all this stuff in the NBA. I mean, this is just horrible. This is the, what do you call it? Two primetime games. I think it was the Knicks and the Sixers. These people calling these games is horrible. They got people like Kendrick Perkins as an analyst. I mean, this is just, it's really bad. You cannot get the best of the best anymore because it's about cheap labor. And when you get cheap labor, you get what you pay for, right? It's just horrible. And this whole idea that WNBA color analysts, play-by-play people, WNBA players are constantly in the men's NBA doing stuff for the NBA. It's just horrible. I mean, I just don't get it, man. They're not good at what they do. It seems to me that maybe they need some money because the WNBA just is not paying them money, right? Because that league is not selling. But you come over to the NBA and you pushing fans away from the NBA, right? And I'm not look, I said I'm not trying to be mean, but this is just horrible, right? When are women, just because they got some basketball knowledge, that does not mean they're good for the NBA or a man's sport. Next thing you know, we're going to have women, right, calling NFL games and being color analysts. And the fact is, the WNBA doesn't even sell itself. So why are these people from the WNBA coming to the NBA and trying to sell us what they can't sell in their own league, in the WNBA? Why are they doing this? Why do they still have Hubie Brown sleep talking and calling games? This is horrible. I don't get how they see this as anything good. But like I said, it's just cheap labor. That's all it is. Cheap labor. That's all you got right here. You got cheap labor. So let's talk about this right here. I don't ever, ever, never, ever want to hear nothing, no comparisons about Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan. I just don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Right? Let's talk about this. In a losing effort, right? I expect this guy to be going out like an OG, right? I didn't expect for this guy to pull this game out. This is a straight L. I mean, he may have pulled it out, right? You never know, right? But I don't expect this guy to pull this out, right? He doesn't have Rudy Gobert. He doesn't have Cat. And you know, the refs are gonna what? They're gonna be on the side of the Lakers, right? But what I do expect is for this guy not to go 2 of 9 from 3. Why the hell is this guy shooting 9 3-pointers in a game? Why? 9 3-pointers in a game, right? If I'm not mistaken, he shot like 22% or something like that, right? I guess when he couldn't get the foul calls right at the beginning of the game, he just said, I'm going to chuck up threes, right? He's not a good... I mean, what are you doing, bro? Why are you chucking up 9 threes in a game? You ain't a good 3-point shooter. So let's look at this, right? Because if you guys are comparing this guy to Michael Jordan came out and he did the damn thing, right? Whenever there was fierce competition, right? Don't tell me about Anthony Towns, right? Don't tell me about Rudy Gobert. When there was fierce competition and Jordan was playing by himself, right? When he was playing against when he played it, I'm talking about earlier in his career, right? When he was playing in Madison Square Garden, when he was playing against the Celtics, when he was playing against the Lakers, this man was doing the damn thing, right? He was putting up these crazy stats, right? 40 points, 50 points, 60 points, with 8 rebounds, 7 assists, this type of stuff, right? This is how Michael Jordan made his name, okay? If you dummies think Michael Jordan made his name because he could dunk, then Dominique Wilkins should have been on the level of Michael Jordan, right? Dominique Wilkins was dunking all over the place. There were other dunkers, right, in the league back at the time. Michael Jordan made his name when he went against great competition, right? Right, you're going to beat me. It's a given. Okay, but I'm going to show you that you ain't just going to, I'm just going to lay down and you're going to roll over me like that. That's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. I'm going to hit my free throws and stuff like that. And another thing with this guy is an up and down free throw shooter. Look, in the last 6 games, this guy shot from the field 43%, 25%, 61%, 40%, 45%, right? In those last 6 games, right? No, this is 5. From the 3-point land. 22%, 0%, 42%, 33%, and 30%. Oh, Michael Jordan, he wasn't no good at shooting the 3 when he was young. We know this. That's why he didn't even attempt 3s. That's what was so great. Most of his big games, he didn't even shoot 3s. He didn't even attempt the 3, right? This guy is attempting the 3. Let's look at this. Free throw shooting in these last 5 games. And I think they lost 3 out of the last 5 games. 75%, 100%, 62%, 66%, and 100%. So this guy is all over the place in free throw shooting. Something that Michael Jordan never was, right? And I think Michael Jordan was a better free throw shooter when he was younger. Right? Sorry, I had to drink some coffee. It's early in the morning for the people saying, oh, you shouldn't be eating and drinking. You never say nothing about the video. You just say something about somebody getting a drink to clear their throat. I mean, it's ridiculous. They can't say nothing about the video because they can't. So let's look at this. In those last, 5 games? 26 points, 19 points, 44 points, 13 points, 27 points. Okay. And Anthony Edwards, 12th in scoring, 79th in rebounds, 39 in assists, and 89th in field goal percentage. You guys got to be kidding me, right? This guy should be averaging, if this guy is this great scorer, he should be averaging at least 30 points per game in this fast-paced era. Stop lying to yourself. You can't have other people leading or other players leading in all these statistics, and you're talking about you're on Michael Jordan's level. You ain't even doing what LeBron is doing right now. And LeBron is 39 years old, and you talk about comparison to Michael Jordan. You ain't see. This is the excuse that these people will make, right? They'll be like, "Oh, Anthony Edwards, he came in when he was 19. So did LeBron. Wasn't he like 18 or something like that? Right? By his second season, he's putting up 27, 7, and 7. Right? What's the excuse? And that was a slower pace era. I think we're at what year 4 for Anthony Edwards. These guys make up so many excuses. It ain't even funny. It's excuse after excuse after excuse for this guy. And like I said, when you playing this type of competition, and you on a big stage, you supposed to show up and show out. You supposed to play to your strengths. So obviously he probably can't shoot no mid-range, right? So when they clogged up the paint, what happened? He want to shoot threes, right? 2 of 9 from. At what point did you give up, right? At what point did you give up? And like I said, all this excuse making of this guy coming into the league at 19, everything benefited him, right? There's no defense. It's a faster paced game. Everything should be in this guy's favor, right? This guy goes to he went to the FIBA and they didn't even qualify for a medal, right? They didn't even qualify for a medal. Jordan won 3 gold medals in college, right? Against professionals overseas. And I know you're going to be saying all this nonsense about how, professionals back then was garbage and all this stuff. That's fine. Overseas guys, the professionals were garbage. That's fine. But by time now, NBA American players should be able to hold their own, right? Against, okay, I'm going to say 99% of the international players that they play can't even make the NBA. So what's really the excuse? Or they're like bench players, right? Or they're not stars. So we're sending our best, Hall of Fame type of players and all-stars over there, right? To play in international play, and we get beat, and we're making up all these lame excuses that we got beat by international players who are like bench players. They're not all-star players. Or 90, probably about still, if we're talking about the whole, world, 99% of those guys can't even make the NBA. Yes, you'll have a couple guys sprinkled out in this country, that country, that's in the NBA, but most of them aren't even superstars. If you say like Luka, okay, maybe Joker plays for his team, but you got to remember, when Joker plays for his home country, 99% of those guys, right, aren't even on the NBA roster. Same with Luka. He plays for his home country. 99% of those guys on his squad ain't even in the NBA. But yet we got all these NBA players for the United States playing for the United States, and they're in the NBA. There's no excuse, right? There's no excuse. We need to get back to the fundamentals of our game in the United States. And they done took this out when they took out defense, right? So more of these international players were able to come to the United States and play. I'm not trying to say that, we had to play football or something like that. No, but if we played like the 90s style ball in the early 2000s, most of these international players could not come to our league and play, right? Or they couldn't be like, the stars that they are, like a Luka. I don't think Joker could have, right? Joker and Luka and these guys say that this